What's going on, people? It's your boy Infrared bringing you an anime review of Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans episode 22. I'm rocking the mic this week because I would rather you guys hear me instead of having a low volume until I get everything put together. But without further ado, let's get to it. This week's episode was really emotional, and one thing that this series does really well is it does well with pacing things out. Especially given now that we know it's going to have 50 or 52 episodes. The pacing of how things were going at first, I was a little bit worried about because they were getting towards that halfway point or beyond the halfway point, and they haven't got to the end goal of which was escorting Cordelia to Earth yet. But now that we know that they have more episodes to go, I don't mind the pacing at all, especially when they take time out like how they did this episode to deal with the death of Biscuit last episode and how that's impacting everybody. And probably the first time we ever seen any type of emotion at all out of Mikazuki. The first time we seen it this episode, and it was done really well. Episode starts off with Gjallarhorn and Carter Issue taking that L from last week, them retreating and going back to Gjallarhorn with their tail between their legs and also upset because they just got outdone by some kids. Once that's over, it segues to Farid and Galileo, and they go to a little bit of backstory about Gjallarhorn and his origins. Farid explains that to Galileo that the Alaviana system was created during the Calamity War, and each of the 72 pilots that had the mobile suits back then used this system. Once the war was over, that's how Gjallarhorn was created. So that explains a little bit of where the other mobile suits may be. They're probably just scattered about as Gjallarhorn grew. They probably got rid of them because they didn't feel the need to use them anymore. Farid also mentions that Tekadon succeeded with escaping, and it's more likely a mole within Gjallarhorn, which was the reason why they were so successful with escaping. Which we all know by now is him, because he's playing both sides of the field because he's our resident mass Gundam character in the series. Meanwhile, back on the Tekadon side of things, they continue to move forward with escorting Princess Cordelia to her destination on Earth along with Makanai. To avoid Gjallarhorn, they have found a route that they're going to use to move through Alaska into Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Sorry, only my wrestling heads will probably get that one. But Tekadon will meet up with Tewaz on this trip, and they're going by train, and they're going to intercept them between Edmonton and Alaska and try to sneak Tekadon in quietly as they can from that way. Cordelia got to flex a little bit of her political muscle as well in this issue, as she was able to convince Makanai and members of his faction to escort them on this trip. So as she's going to make her bid for peace, she's growing a little bit more. I think she's a little bit more likable than some of the political characters that we had in Gundam before. As far as Orga goes, naturally he's taking things pretty hard with Biscuit being dead, mainly because they had a disagreement before they died, and Biscuit sacrificed himself to save Orga, and that was the last thing that happened between them. They didn't get to meld things together like they would have. But each member of Tekadon is dealing with his death in their own way. MIKA began to try to inspire him, and being the savage that he is, he demands Orga to give him an order of what to do next. That's something he's been doing all show. What do I do next? What do I do next? But in this case, he's asking Orga, who do I kill next? Who do I gotta take out next to make sure we finish our mission, to make sure that we do what we need to do? It may seem like kind of cold and callous, but you can tell it was just the way that MIKA was using it to cope himself and to focus his anger into war because of his lost friend. But it was also what he needed to pump Orga up, because war and death is pretty much all these two characters know. That got Orga the shot that he needed to take the rest of the team on to his mission forward. And it showed that MIKA does care. This is the most emotion we've seen out of him the entire series. I don't want them to soften him up too much. I like the savage that he is right now, but at the same time, it's kind of good to see that he is developing a little bit. He's not a straight cardboard character like old boy was in Al Noah Zero. You can see a little bit of growth with him actually being around people, them caring, them acting more as a family in this series. So with that being said, they're going to move forward, continuing to escort Cordelia to Earth, well, through Earth at this point. And next episode looks like it's going to be pretty good. It looks like we're going to get a rematch between Carter Issue and MIKA. And one thing that Gundam always does well, especially they've been doing well in this series, is the battle. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's it as far as the review. I mean, as far as a few thoughts, let me know what you think. Do you like this? Do you like the progression that Orga, MIKA, and the rest of Tekkadan are making right now as far as character development? Gundam's really good with that. Gundam's been bringing the field since 1979, so it's nice to see them stay with the format. It seems like a lot of the series, when they break off, they try to do too much. Like, I wasn't a fan of Build Fighters. I appreciate what it did. But right now, Iron Blood is probably closest to the Universal Century Gundams that we've seen in a while. And where it stands right now, I'm putting it above 00 almost. We'll just have to see how this second season goes, because 00 started off great and then that second season was just okay. I'm putting this one probably in my top 5 right now. Just like how 00 took Gundam Wing and made everything better about that, Iron Blood seems to be taking everything that worked with 00 except having the team aspect of it being 5 Gundams and expanded on that. It's kind of a throwback, and something I've always said is this series seems like it's a mixture of 00 as well as 08th MS Team, which again is one of my favorite Gundams. So once again, let me know what you think. What do you think Farid's plan is? Is he truly on Gjallarhorn's side? I mean, I of course feel, and making it blatant, that he's playing both sides, but where does his allegiance lie overall? What is his plans for Ayn and Galileo once they get going? Is he going to betray them, or is he going to just stay the way he is? How is that going to work out? And again, do you like Mikazuki's as a character, or do you like his development? Yeah, let me know. Thank you very much for watching this video. I mean, you guys could be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to be here watching me, so I appreciate that. If you like anything I said, drop a like. If you want to hear more, drop a subscribe. This is Infrared with the Scott Report, and I'll see you guys soon.